So today's video is a little bit special. I'm going to be sharing with you a little bit of my story from the last 5 years and something which has happened recently. So here we go, let's start the story. So my name is Filipe Barros and I'm your West Coast swing and solo dance teacher. And I've got influences in styles like ballet, street jazz, contemporary, hip hop and more. And so I spoke about it in some of my old videos that about 5 years ago I had looks like a disc bulge in my back, and it was a really difficult time of my life, and it took me about a year to recover, but thankfully I managed to get better. Not 100%, a lot of people are not 100% better after an issue with the back or the discs, but I was able to continue dancing, thank the Lord. So what's happened is that I joined the gym about 6 weeks ago, and I started going, and I was lifting weights, noticing those changes happening to my body. And then one session in the evening I did a particularly like the heaviest session I'd done so far, doing a total body workout. And then the next morning I sat in a cafe to be teaching English online, and the chair was like a straw chair, not ideal for the back. It was very deep. The pan of the seat was quite a deep one, which then causes your back to flex, the hips and so on. And then I started hurting, and I was like, oh, this is strange, because I still got pain from sitting in chairs for a long time. But that was after like 10 minutes, and it got bad, and I thought it was just like a muscular thing. And then it continued throughout the whole day, and then I realized something's happened, and I thought back to the gym. Oh no. So maybe it's been me going to the gym for 4 weeks, and maybe it's been again causing problems in that disc area. And then the morning after, when the back is more sensitive, that was a tipping point, and it caused maybe another bulge or something in the disc. So I have re-injured my back. I haven't had a scan this time, but I suspect it's definitely in the same area as it was before the pain. So I suspect it's an L5-S1 disc. If you know your back and your anatomy, you know where that is. It's at the bottom of the spine. But thankfully it's not as bad as last time, but it has been really, it's been difficult, and I'm not gonna lie, I've been a fairly bit sad about it, and I've stopped dancing. I tried teaching a workshop, a West Coast swing workshop 2 weeks ago, but it just became worse. And it's really frustrating just living with, just waking up and it's painful, and it's really frustrating. But I'm a Christian, I'm a man of faith, and I know that God is with me, and that He's taking care of me, and I love that promise in the Bible that He will use everything for my good, for those that love Him. So I have my hope in Jesus, and it's been a journey, and I've got some amazing people in my life as well who've been helping me. So I wanted to share a bit about this journey, what I've been going through, and also some tips that can help you as well with your looking after your body. Coming back to 5 years ago, somebody gave me a book, which is The Back Mechanic, and I'm really grateful to him for giving me that book. I'm super grateful. So to this day, thank you so much. It was a book by Dr. Stuart McGill, and it's called The Back Mechanic, and that book was amazing. Dr. Stuart McGill is one of the world's foremost lower back specialists, and it's incredible. It's really based on it's a science-based approach. What happened, I was so confused at the time 5 years ago about what happened and so on, and all the people I saw, doctors, physios, I'm not saying these people are in themselves, you can't see any doctor or physio, I'm just saying the ones that I saw didn't really know how to help. I seem to have more knowledge than them. Then I saw Dr. Stuart McGill's, I read his book, Back Mechanic, gave me so much knowledge about the back and the lower back, and that if you have a disc issue, it's probably from a mechanical cause, the way you've been moving. And I realized, yes, it has been from the ways I've been moving, the postures I've used, the loads I've been allowing the back to take. So I learned that my disc was a posterior disc bulge, and it's caused by what I believe was flexion, so like going like this, which is obviously if you allow your spine to not have its three, because the spine has is an S shape, it has three curves, And if we allow ourselves to droop shoulders, I'll show you here from the side, here, and then your hips will also curl underneath like this. That's not so good for biomechanically, for your posture, for weight bearing. And then as soon as you load up with weights, doing that, that's going to increase it even more. So what I think is that with the weights and from the exercise I was doing, certain exercises were adding lots of force to the spine. So if I'm facing this way, if I was like coming forwards, that's my discs here, and taking weight, then the disc now bulges backwards and maybe touches on a nerve or so on. So that caused a lot of the problems, and that's what I think happened in the gym as well. Maybe doing these overhead presses with weights adds compression to the spine. If you have any bad technique where you're slightly losing that S shape in the back, you're maybe flexing too far forwards or extending too far back, then with weights that can add, just multiplies the danger of something going wrong. So I'm going to demonstrate a bit later as well some safe ways of moving. So I've incorporated lots of really cool ways to move. So I would definitely recommend the back mechanic if you do have issues with your back. Surgery, in my opinion, is a last resort, as Dr. Stuart McGill says. So I'm trying to avoid that and be patient, allow the healing process to happen. And so now, I'm trying to do that as well. So I think we need to learn what caused that. Don't just treat the symptoms. But learn what caused it. There's a mechanical reason for this, and I've got to try and change those reasons why it happened. So that's what I would say. Obviously, this is not medical advice. This is just me sharing my opinions and things which I've learned. So now I've noticed I've got more free time because I'm not going to all my dance classes. I've had to cancel my gym membership, my membership at Jazzy Dance Studios, which is obviously really sad. But now I want to make the most of this time. It's a season, maybe for other things until I get better again. So it's nice actually in a way that when people ask me, hey, are you free to meet up? I'm actually much more free to say yes. Before it was a bit stressful. I was trying to cram in working together with going to the gym, together with going to solo dance classes, together with going to West Coast swing classes and practice. And it just became a lot. So it's given me some time now to reflect. I think sometimes it's better to do less, and then you choose more carefully what you do rather than just cramming everything. So I feel like if you do less, it can help you just to be more mindful of what you're choosing to do and choose the things that are really important. So at the moment I'm enjoying having a little bit more free time, and to help you practice you can still practice even if you're not physically moving as much. So I like to watch West Coast swing class videos. You can watch your workshop videos you've recorded or go through YouTube videos, including loads of YouTube videos here on my channel. I really like nerdy West Coast swing. They slow videos down and analyze them, and it's a really good way to train your eye to help you to dance better. So really appreciative of the guys at Nerdy West Coast Swing. And so you can still do that. You can watch West Coast Swing videos, your favorite performances, and then you can focus on one part of the video, for example, just the legs, and see what they're doing. You might even want to cover the screen and just watch the legs. Or you can then watch the torso, how that's moving. You can also watch the face and see the expressions that are happening. So there's lots of things you can do. You can put it on mute and then watch what's happening there. And then, so you can actively be watching, actively see, rather than just taking it in, which is obviously really cool as well, where you're just watching and taking it in and enjoying it. You can also actively watch for certain things, and it can help you learn. I might visualize myself dancing those things or a new pattern I've just seen, and it almost helps to create some neural connections in my mind. So that's a lot of my story there. I also want to show you some healthy ways of moving. Dr. Stuart McGill has his big 3 exercises, which have become very famous, where he's tested certain exercises which are much safer on the spine than many other ones are. So those ones I'm planning to do that once the pain winds down a bit more on my back, and that helps to increase the endurance of the muscles all surrounding the lower spine, which helps to support it. So have a look at those. Yes, so I recommend his book, Back Mechanic, and also on YouTube, I think you can find him demonstrating his big 3 exercises, which can help you with that, create that stable spine. Now I also, I'm still offering the West Coast Swing video reviews. I did one this week with a student from California. It was so nice. I really enjoyed it, and it was nice to be connected to dance still in that way. So what we do, we'll watch your videos together, and we can slow it down, frame by frame even, and then pause it, and I can mention things. I might draw things on the video to demonstrate things like lines and so on. And also we record the session, and I'll send it to you afterwards as well. So yeah. Contact me if you're interested for more. I can also provide you coaching, talking through any other questions you have, mindset, what to do in competitions depending on your division. And yeah, I'm looking forward, to go back to competing and get back to the West Coast Swing Circuit again. It's so nice traveling to different countries, seeing different people, missing your friends, meeting new people, going to workshops. In fact, we've got Lisbon Westie Fest coming up. Perhaps I'll be able to go to that still. Even if I can't dance, I can sit in the workshops and just learn from watching, and also might be doing some judging as well, and maybe some DJing. So there's some other things that you can do. And so some of the things I've learned in like movement and so on, which I hope you will find this useful as well. And when I want to pick something up from the floor, which is light, I'll use what's known as the golfer's lunge. So imagine you have like a table here or a chair you can use with this arm, but if not, it's okay as well. But I might engage that core using the method that Stuart McGill mentioned, and then I come down and pick something up here, if it's a light thing, pen, piece of paper, and so on. That helps to keep a nice spine, not stooping like this, which is not good for the spine, because now the thoracic area is curving, and also the hips might curve as well forwards, and that causes pain as well on the back. It might then, with my posterior disc bulge, if I then curve this in, it can, and if you imagine I have lots of weight now, that might push the disc out further. And if I want to pick up something heavy from the floor, I would come down to the floor like this, and then pick up the thing, engage the core, and then come up like this. And that's a much healthier way than stooping and then adding weight to it. Ooh, that's not so good. So be careful if you go to the gym when you pick up weights. Don't just stoop and pick things up, but take care of the way you do things. So that's a really good way as well to pick things up. Now, I also like to engage my core, and a great thing you can do is by putting the fingers here and then pushing against them. You should feel that's going to make the core create energy in the muscles there all around you, which then can help protect your back. So if I'm doing stuff like picking something a little bit heavier, I might engage that core. If I'm also getting up off a seat, there's another way to do that as well. So that really helps to protect the back, which is why we do that, the Stuart McGill Big 3. But if you find that it's hurting after doing them, you have to maybe regress the exercises. There are different versions of it, or wait a bit longer for the sensitivity in your back to die down. But once again, this is not medical advice. I would suggest that you speak to a professional who knows what they're talking about. So if, for example, when I'm sitting down, there's a nice way you can get up as well. So I'm going to grab a chair and show you. So here we are. So if I'm sitting down, first of all, for me, if the chair is soft, my back tends to sink against it, and then my hips will go this way, rotate this way, which is not so good for my spine. I like to try and think about sitting on my sit bones. So what you can do is sit on the chair. If you put your hands underneath, you should feel these two bones, the sit bones. And they'll do this test where you go backwards, and you can now find that the sit bones are no longer standing on the chair. And if I move forward, at this position I can feel the sit bones. So if you try rotating the hips as well, you can feel the sit bones moving. So I personally think about standing on these legs, the sit bones. Here, this is much better posture. If I start rolling my hips, the sit bones are now going underneath, and this is not so good for my back. So that's something which I do. And when I get up off a chair, if I just come up straight up, I'll feel pressure on that spine as I come up. So what you can do is to come towards the front of the chair. Let me just move my mic here. Come to the front of the chair, move forwards to kind of release the hips, engage my core, and then push up off the feet. And now I'm not pushing up off the spine. So that's a really nice spine-sparing way. Dr. Stuart McGill calls it spine hygiene. That's a really nice way. So moving, especially when your back is now in pain, trying to be avoid as much of these pain postures or movements or loads as possible until the pain winds down, because it's going to be sensitive. It might take some time for the tissues to wind down. So these are some good things that I would recommend, which I'm finding really helpful. Another thing is walking as well. So For my particular disc issue, walking really helps. Might not help everybody, but walking with good posture. You turn to the side and put the fingers into the muscles here. Just apply a little bit of pressure there. You should feel them, they feel pretty relaxed. As soon as I put my neck forwards, at some point you feel them switching on. And then I come back, you feel them relaxing again. So by having this poor posture of the neck forwards or looking down, it makes these muscles switch on and they work harder. So that's why it's really important to think about, having a good posture. I'm not saying being static and trying to be stiff with your muscles, but when I'm walking, I try not to look down. I swing my arms, and it often really helps my back. It relieves the pressure, and it's like balm to the back, as Stuart McGill says. So I try to walk around 3 or 4 times a day, like before or after breakfast, after lunch, after dinner, and maybe another walk afterwards. And that really helps to relieve the pain in my back and maybe decompress it. And plus walking is so good for you, to hear the birds and the fresh wind outside and have some sunshine. So that's something that's been really helpful for me as well. Another very important thing as well, I feel, is that if we spend so many hours sitting down, and sitting down by itself is, it's okay for the spine. This is my base of the spine, but after some time the pressure gets more and more on the spine, and it gets more and more for the spine to take. It's as if I had a piece of paper and held it in front of me. That's okay, but imagine doing this for half an hour. After a while, the weight of my bones and so on is going to become harder to take. I kind of see that in the same way as if I'm sitting here. After an hour of sitting here, it's going to start taking more and more pressure. So what I do is every 20 or 30 minutes, I try to stand up and I feel the back relaxing. It gives you time now to that stress concentration to relax, move it to stress concentration somewhere else, and then you get back to sitting and doing your work. So I think that's, for me, having a dynamic lifestyle really helps. If I'm in one position for too long, that you get those stress concentrations and you start to get pain. For example, if you're in a concert, we've all been in a concert standing for 2 or 3 hours in a festival, you might feel a bit of pain. It's because we're in that same position for so long. So I recommend constantly changing your posture, your position. So those are some things that have really are helpful for me on my journey 5 years ago, and now in my journey at the moment I'm in the middle of with my healing journey. If I'm going to my car boot as well, it's be careful with heavy things, putting it in the boot, because sometimes you have to lean forwards to put things in. As soon as I'm in this position, I'm like, warning signs, be careful, especially if there's something heavy. So don't be afraid to ask someone to help you if you have an injured back, or you feel like it could injure your back, you've had problems in the past. Ask a friend to help you pick something up, which if you feel it's in a position that's a bit more dangerous to go for. So yeah, look after your health, guys. I think it's not really worth sometimes lifting. For me, like having to lift heavy weights, or some people call it ego lifting, where you're trying to go for more, and when you're trying to we have this idea often that's spread around like, oh, no pain, no gain, one more, push one more. The problem is that if you're pushing one more, you might now use bad technique, arching your back, moving your hips forward to try and get that one more rep, and that's when you can cause a lot of damage in your body. So for me, I'm in it for the long run. That's what my pastor said that yesterday. I was talking to him. He said, yeah, we're in it for the long run, not the short game. So yeah, so it's okay not to push yourself too much. You can still become really healthy and not have to push yourself 100%. I think it's more important to look after your body, which is so precious. Like you can, just for the sake of an extra rep or so, then put yourself out for a long time. That's not exactly what happened to me, but it happens to many people. It's not worth the risk. I think your body is so much more important. So if there's anything you take out of this video, I hope it's that you just take care. I'm planning on just doing bodyweight exercises once I get better again, because I think that's going to be a much safer way for me to exercise. Sometimes I feel maybe my body's not made for all these heavy weights. So there you go, some of my thoughts. So if you enjoyed this video, do feel free to give this a like and to subscribe by clicking on the button below, and yeah, then it will help you by getting notifications of when new videos are out. I also want to create a really friendly community, so feel free to comment below and support each other, say hello to each other. We're here for each other, and wish you all a wonderful day, and don't forget to enjoy your dancing.